Your English podcast.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Your English podcast, the best way to improve your English. My name is Alex.
And my name is Nita.
Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're looking at some material you shared with us. It seems to be a step-by-step guide, specifically on learning English right from scratch aimed at 2025.
That's right. And this guide, it looks like it might be presented by, well, figures named Alex and Nina, maybe.
Yeah.
It lays out a very specific path for total beginners. Our mission here is really to pull out the most useful bits, the sort of actionable steps from this source. Think of it as unpacking their recommended method.
Okay, let's get into it. Because, starting a language from zero, it feels huge, right? Kind of overwhelming. The source says it has a clear path. So where do they even say to start? Like, what's the very first thing before you even learn hello?
Well, what's interesting here, and maybe a bit different from how some people learned, is that it really hammers home defining your specific goal first. It argues that knowing why you're learning is it, like for chatting or for work, maybe tech, maybe film, travel. That fundamentally changes how you learn. Ah, okay.
And what skills you should prioritize?
So not just a vague, I want to learn English, but I want to learn English for this. And that's step one, according to this guide.
Absolutely. They sort of frame it as building your own learning plan first. Then once that's clear, the guide talks about the basics. And here they really stress mastering the actual sounds of English. Phonetics, getting pronunciation right early, they say, stops bad habits forming.
Phonetics. You mean not just the alphabet, but how letters actually, well, sound when people talk.
Precisely. Learning the individual sounds, how they blend together. The source suggests things like really focusing on sounds that are tricky for speakers of your own language. Or maybe drilling certain vowel sounds before you even connect them to spelling. It's about training your ear and your mouth, really.
Got it. That makes sense. Grounding it in the physical sounds first. Okay, so after sounds, what's next?
Then it moves into practical vocabulary and simple phrases. The guide suggests starting with really functional language, stuff for common situations, things that are relevant to your goal. Right, so if my goal is travel, maybe learning how to ask for directions or order food.
Exactly that. Or if it's just, meeting people, basic introductions, they talk about learning language chunks, these useful blocks like, can I have, or where is the and they suggest repeating these practical phrases a lot so you can actually use them straight away.
Okay, goal setting, sounds, practical chunks, repetition. What about the big hurdle? Actually, speaking, that feels like the scariest part for a beginner.
Yeah, and that raises a key point the guide seems to tackle directly, getting over that fear of speaking. And their advice is pretty blunt, actually. Start talking as soon as you possibly can. Don't wait until you feel ready.
Wow, okay. Just jump in, even with mistakes.
That really seems to be the core message. They suggest simple things like just try describing what's around you out loud in English. Or talk to yourself. Use the simple sentences you've learned. Mistakes aren't failures in this view, they're just feedback. Essential feedback. They even say record yourself to hear how you actually sound.
That focus on using it immediately, speaking early. It sounds very action-focused. Does the guide, skip grammar then?
Not really skip it, no, but it brings grammar in differently. It's presented more as a tool to help you build on those phrases you're learning, not like a set of abstract rules you have to memorize first up. So they introduce basic sentence structure, simple statements, questions, negatives alongside the vocabulary, showing you how the grammar actually works when you use it.
Okay, so you learn the grammar you need for the phrases you're practicing. It feels very practical, sort of bottom up, focused on communicating right away.
That sums it up well, yeah. And kind of tying it all together, the source really highlights motivation and making it enjoyable. They suggest using real materials you actually like: movies, music, maybe simple books, things tailored to your level, of course,
Yeah.
and tracking your progress, finding support, maybe language partners. That's seen as crucial for sticking with it.
Right. So the emotional side, the wanting to do it part, is just as important as the how to do it part. So for you listening right now, what's the takeaway from this approach? What does it mean for you?
I think it means cutting through all the options out there. The apps, the books. This method, from the source material anyway, offers a structured path, but it's flexible too. It starts with your specific needs, focuses on building usable skills step by step, and always comes back to actually using the language.
So here's something to think about. Based on this guide's really strong point about defining your specific goal being the absolute first thing. If you're starting English from zero today, what would be the very first practical thing you'd do right after you figure out that specific goal, building on this method?
That's a great question to ponder.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into learning English from scratch.